Hello, Introduction to Java Programming. In this session, we will discuss about arrays. How to declare arrays, how to define an array, how to initialize, and how to read write data to and from arrays. Let's begin. Firstly, what is an array? An array is a group or collection of similar data items. It's a group or a collection where we will have similar data items placed. Why we say similar? Array will not allow dissimilar data items. Array can be of integers, array can be of strings, array can be of floats or doubles, or array can be of characters, but you cannot club them. So array contains only homogeneous data elements. Okay, and other than this homogeneity, and there are other properties which are associated with an array. Array is fixed. Whenever we define an array, we have to tell what is the size of the array. And array is indexed. An array can be indexed. Index always starts from 0 and goes up to size -1. Let us assume my array size is 10, my index starts from 0 and goes up to 9. Array is randomly accessed. So you can access any element of the array with the index. You can go to the last element, you can go to the first element, you can go to the middle element, whatever it is, randomly you can access. Need not to go sequentially. By index, you can actually access any position of the array. Either you can actually provide a value to that particular position, or you can actually fetch the value from the array. Also, arrays are contiguously allocated. That means all the elements in an array are allocated one after other in the memory. Let me actually tell you with an example. I will actually annotate now by creating an array. Let us assume, so this is an array, and the array will have certain slots, right? So this is slot 0, then this is slot 1, this slot 2, then slot 3, slot 4, slot 5, and slot 6. Okay, so what is the size now actually? So let me actually give the size here. So this is at index 0, this is at index 1, this is at index 2, this is at index 3, this is at index 4, and this is at index 5, this is at index 6, and then this is at index 7. So what is the size actually? So 0 to 7, so total 8 elements actually. So my array size is 8 actually. So how I declare this array? Let me actually define this array. What I'm saying is this is an integer array. This is how I'm going to do it. Of course, I will explain again the declaration. And my array name is, let's say, array. And we will write actually in Java like this, new int of what is the size? 8 actually. So this is how I create an array. The creating an array is nothing but array definition. Okay. So now, because size is 8, the index starts from 0 to 7. Okay. So now what I'm saying is array is fixed actually. See, size I have mentioned, so it is fixed. And array is indexed. So you will have index starting from 0 to n minus 1. Indices are always positive. We cannot have negative indices. And array contains homogeneous elements. Okay, if you want, we can actually give certain elements as well. Let us assume at array of 0, I have element 10, and here I have some 20, and here I have certain 30, and here I will have some 40, and I am giving 50 over here. And later, actually, whenever we create an array and we are not giving any values, by default they will be zeros, because the default value of integer is 0. When an array is created, all other elements actually will be with 0, and I have assigned 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 to some of the array elements. Let us assume like that. Okay, so now what I'm saying, they are indexed, they are fixed, and what is randomly accessed? Now what I can actually do is array of 5. whatever array of 5 is there, right? So now I am actually giving a value 99. So random access, straight away I'm going to array of error of 5, that is this position, and what I'm doing, I'm actually giving 99. Okay, so now what I can do is array of, let's say, some 6 equals to, I can also say it is array of 0 plus some 10. Okay, what is array of 0? Array of 0 is 10 plus 10, 20, and this one I am assigning to 6 actually. So now this is going to be 20. Okay, so randomly accessing. Okay, now what I am doing here, I am actually saying array of some 1 equal to array of 1 equal to array of 6 plus array of let's say 4. So what is array of 6? Array of 6 is 20. Array of 4 is 50. So 50 plus 20 is how much? 70, right? So now my array of 120 is going to get replaced and will be 70 actually. So like that I can randomly access any of the slots. Any of the slots. Now let me actually give value for array of 7 as well, so that my array will get completed. My array of 7 is actually let's say 199. So I'm straight away giving certain value to this. So this is going to be my 199. Okay, so this is what randomly accessing the array elements. Okay, and let's understand contiguously allocated. Okay, so what is the name of the array? So name of the array is ARR. Usually this is actually pointing to my base address. The base address is actually at the index 0. So this is whatever the address is there here, we call as a base address. Let's assume this base address is some 2000. Base address is from 2000. Okay. Now what happens is the next element actually. So next element is actually integer element, right? So integer take 4 bytes. My next element will be at 2004. Okay, and this element will be at the address 2008, and this element will be at the address 2012 actually. So the array elements are contiguously allocated in the memory. The first element is a 2000, next will be after 4 bytes, and next will be after 4 bytes, next will be after 4 bytes. So array is allocated contiguously, sequentially. Okay, so we know the base address and we know the number of elements, and we can actually tell what is the last address or what is the address of a specific element. We know the index and we can do that actually, because they are allocated contiguously. And array is homogeneous. So homogeneous means similar actually. So integer array will contain all integers, string array will contain all strings. You cannot club integers and strings actually. So finally we can actually define array like this. An array is a fixed, indexed, randomly accessed, contiguously allocated collection of homogeneous data items. Okay, so a proper definition of array would be like this. An array is a fixed, indexed, randomly accessed, contiguously allocated collection of homogeneous data items, so that all the properties are covered in the definition. Array is fixed in size, array is indexed, index starts from 0 and goes up to n-1. It can be accessed randomly. The memory is allocated contiguously for all the array elements, and it's a homogeneous collection. Okay, so with this we understood the definition of array, and now let's understand how do we declare an array and how do we define an array and how an array will get initialized, and later what is the length attribute which is associated with an array. And by default arrays are implicit objects. So implicit object means the object is straight away available without any class actually. So we don't have array class, object is straight away available, and the object can be applied with certain attributes, and there is one attribute called length actually, which will give the size of the array. That we will understand after that, how to read data to an array and how to write array elements, how to print the array elements. So this all we are going to discuss, and before that I am clearing all the drawings over here. Yeah, let's understand the declaration. So in order to declaration, I'm just going to this program. Yeah, an array can be declared like this. Okay, I want to declare an integer array. I can write like this, integer array. Okay, so for example, ARR, this is the array declaration. This is just a declaration. I have not created, I have not defined. This is just a declaration, array declaration. Okay, and in the same fashion, I can also declare a string array, something like this. String array args is already there in the main method. In the same fashion, string array cities. Okay, I can actually declare string array cities. This is just a declaration. Okay, we are just declared. No memory is allocated. So array is an object, right? So memory should be allocated with the new operator. Okay, so in the same fashion, I can actually create some double array actually. So double array temp. Okay, temperatures. I am going to monitor temperatures. Double array temp. In the same fashion, I can have a character array also. A character array, let's say ovals. Okay, so these are all declarations. No memory is allocated. Okay, in fact, so these can be declared in a C style like this also. It can be declared like this. So you can also say double temp followed by the descriptor. These also both are same actually. So here you can also declare like this, char vowels and followed by the array subscriptor operator. So both are same. This is a C++ style and this is a Java style. Okay, but here no memory was allocated. So now how to allocate the memory, how to assign the memory to an array, how to create or define an array. So now I can say ARR are already declared, right? So ARR equal to new int of 10. Now my array is defined. This is what array definition. My array is defined. So array is created. Defined means it is actually created. So some memory is allocated for this particular array. In the same fashion, I have cities array, right? So now I can actually say cities equal to, so cities is of type string, right? So new string of how many cities you would like to have. So I want to have 5 cities. So size I am specifying, right? Array is fixed. In the same fashion, temp equal to, now new is actually a memory allocator. Okay, so new double of, so how many? So I want to monitor 7 temperatures, 7 cities temperatures, let's assume. Okay, the same fashion, ovals. So ovals equal to a new char of, so how many characters you have in ovals actually. Okay, so A E I O U, both capitals and in lowercase. Total how many? 10 actually. So I am giving 10. So this is what array definition or creation. So first part is array declaration and this part is array definition. Okay, so now you can actually combine both of them also. We can combine both of them. So now let's see how I am going to combine. So for example, now I am saying integer array marks. Okay, integer array marks equal to new int of let's say 6 subject marks. So here what I'm doing, array creation actually, array creation or definition. You can actually say this is a definition or creation. So we are declaring, okay, at the same time I'm actually creating the size actually. I'm creating the array also in the memory by specifying the size. Okay, so the declaration is also there and the creation is also there, right? So Java arrays are different than C and C++. Okay, in C you can actually do something like this, int a of 10. This is allowed in C and C++, but it is actually a compile time error in Java. So you cannot actually give straight away size here. Okay, the size has to be allocated dynamically. Okay, so in Java, memory is allocated dynamically, not statically. So this is an error in Java, but it works actually in C and C++. So C and C++ style will not work in Java because in Java, memory is allocated dynamically. You need to use a new operator and you have to separately create uh, the memory for that. So when I say new int of 6, so 6 into 4, 24 bytes is allocated over here. Okay, so here new char of 10. So 10 into 2, 20 bytes is allocated. So new double, 7 into 8 allocated. Okay, so here new string of 5 actually, right? So each string, how much it is actually taking, so that depends, right? So that much memory allocated. So int means int into 4, int is 4, so 4 into 10, 40 bytes is allocated. Okay, so this is about array creation and array definition. Okay, so now let's understand array initialization also. Okay, array initialization. So initialization means at the time of declaration itself, you are providing the values. At the time of declaration itself, you are providing the values. For example, now let's see, what I am saying is int array marks equal to, now I am providing the marks actually. Okay, so what marks? Out of 10, I am giving the marks 6, 7, 8, 9, let's say 8 here, and then let's say now 10 by 10, and somebody got actually 7 again, and some 6 again, then 8 again, and some 9. Okay, so like that I can actually specify uh, the values of the array. So how many I have? 4 plus 5, total 9 actually. So let me make 10. So I am actually giving 5. So and semicolon. So what is the size? So size actually you can see here. Int array marks equal to all these values, and size when we count actually it is 10. Okay, so if at all you want to find programmatically what is the size, you can actually do like this also. Just let me print actually marks dot length. Marks dot length. So length is an attribute which is going to provide the size of an array, and here the size should be 10 actually. So let me compile and show you that the size will work perfectly. Java C test.java. Yeah, when I say Java test, now let's see actually. So size is how much? 10, right? So the length attribute will give us the size automatically. So, but basically what I'm explaining here is array initialization. At the time of declaration, you are actually providing the values. So here I am not using the new operator. Okay, while initializing, you need not to give the new operator. Automatically, based on the values you have given, the size is actually attributed, and the size is nothing but how many data elements are there. So 10 data elements are there, that you can actually find with the help of length attribute. Length is not a method, it's just an attribute. This is initialization. The same fashion, I can actually initialize some string array. So string array, I am writing actually something called cities, right? So let me actually give some strings over here. So now I am saying here Pune is my first string, and then I have Hyderabad as a second string, then I will have Chennai as a third string, and then I will have the Bangalore as the fourth string. Now I will have Delhi as the fifth string, and of course the last string I'm just going to give is actually the Mumbai, right? Okay, and what is the size? So the count actually, so count is nothing but 6 actually, right? So now you want to print specifically, because array is randomly accessed, right? You can actually say cities of what? So cities of 1. So what is cities of 1? Cities of 1 will be Hyderabad, right? So now you want to say cities of now you want to say 5. So cities of 5 is actually, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 is actually Mumbai. So in the same fashion, you can actually say cities of let's say 6. Cities of 6 exists. So when the size is 6, you will have the index starting from 0 to 5. 6 doesn't exist actually. So here, whenever it is not existing, we are going to get array index out of bounds exception. Array index out of bounds exception. Okay, let me show you this. So line number 15, you are going to get an array actually. So let me compile, run, and show you that it is actually going to give you an exception. At the compile time, there is no issue. Compiler is fine. So when I run actually, see, I am getting the size 10 here. Then Hyderabad, I am getting cities of 1, cities of 5, Mumbai. But cities of 6 doesn't exist. So I will get array index out of bounds exception actually, because that index doesn't uh, that index is not available actually, right? So instead of that, what I'm doing, arrays of 3 I'm doing. So arrays of 3 is nothing but Bangalore, right? So arrays of 3 will be Bangalore. Okay, so this is how I can actually initialize and I can access the data items also, right? Now I want to print. Now I want to print all the integers and all the cities actually. So how do I print? So firstly, I would like to print all these integers. I want to print here itself actually. So what I do, normal for loop I can write here. So printing actually. So how to print? Printing array elements. So how to print array elements? Let's see. Okay, so what I'm doing, because I have already elements, so I'm doing something like this. For int I equal to 0, index start from 0, I less than, I'm starting from 0, I will go to size minus 1, right? Length minus 1. So how do I find the length minus 1? My array is actually marks. So marks dot length, right? So I less than, I'm saying, so marks dot length. I less than equal to means marks dot length minus 1, right? I equal to 0, I'm going up to I less than marks dot length. Marks dot length, I'm using less than operator. So size is 10, I'm going up to 9, right? And then I plus plus, and here I can actually print all these values. So system.out.println, and my array name is marks, and I can say marks of I. So I equal to 0, I will get 6, I equal to 1, I will get 7, and of course I equal to 9, I will get the 5 values actually. So line by line I will be seeing all these values. Okay, that is one thing. Now this part we have understood, right? This part already we have understood. Yeah, so okay, so of course randomly I'm accessing, and that part we understood. So now I want to print again. So print I want to print cities actually. So this print all the cities. Now I can write actually like the for loop which we have learned, where you have initialization, test condition, and increment, decrement, and also you can actually use a for each style. So for each style. So how to use for each will actually work with the collections or groups. I have an array. So now I have cities array. It contains string, right? So for each string, see in this particular group called cities, I just want to say print actually all the cities. So for each string C in cities, otherwise I can say for each city in cities. So just it's a variable actually, right? So print that particular city. That's it. So now we are actually printing here. Printing cities using for each actually. Okay, whenever you have a collection, you can actually do with for each. Of course, here also I can do that. Instead of writing all these things, I can actually write a for each statement also. How do I write a for each statement over there? Just something like this. For, yeah, so each integer I in this particular group called marks. Okay, what I do here, just system.out.println, I just say SOP of that particular I. That's it. Okay, either this one or this one actually. So I just want to show both of them. So that's why I have written here. So let me actually compile and show you that the reading, the writing actually, printing is easy. Java C test.java. Now you can actually see Java test. So now actually initially I am printing marks.length. Then I am printing all the 10 values over here. So after that, this HYD, Mumbai and Bangalore will get printed. And later on, actually, I am uh, printing all the values from the array. So I have Pune, HYD, Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi, and Mumbai actually. So this is how we print data from an array to your monitor or console device, whatever it is actually. But how to read values to an array? How to read values to an array? So here I am actually initializing, right? So I am reading by initializing the data. I'm reading by initializing, right? So now what I do, I will take an array and where I will actually read data to my array. Okay, so by using a random number, by using a random numbers. Okay, so now I will have one more array just to read actually. So let me write the comment here, read data to an array using a random method, math.random actually. So how I am going to do that? How I am going to do that? Okay, let's see. Okay, for that, first of all, you require an array, right? So which array we will take? Uh, a random. Actually, it will give you double values from 0.0 to 0.9, right? So I will just take that one actually. So I will have a double array. Okay, so double array, uh, random numbers. Okay, my array name is random numbers equal to. So how many random numbers? So new double of how many randoms you want. So you want 10 random numbers. I want 10 random numbers. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm writing a for loop for int I equal to 0, I less than how many times. So I know the size is actually 10. So I actually get random numbers dot length. This is the size of my random numbers array and I plus plus. Now what I'm doing here, I am actually assigning, see, random numbers of I is equal to random numbers of I equal to, I have to give 10 numbers, right? So what I do here, just I say math dot random, math dot random. How many times this math dot random will get executed? 10 times, because your loop is executing how many times? 10 times. So 10 times math dot random is going to get executed, and every time it will generate a double value. The double value I am giving to random numbers of I, right? First value in the random numbers of 0, the second random value generated in random numbers of 1, until so on random numbers of 9 actually. So this is how I am reading. Okay, and I want to print actually. So now let me write for each double, okay, some D in this particular group called random numbers. Okay, just print actually all the random numbers, that is nothing but D. Okay, so now how many arrays we have? Actually one integer array where we have initialized, and one a double array where we are not initializing, but I am reading a data to my array using math.random. So you know math.random will generate a value between 0.0 to 0.99, right? So 999 until so on actually. So I want 10 random numbers to be generated, and they should be placed in my random numbers array. And after that, actually, I am printing all of them. Let's see. Okay. And of course, I have a cities array as well, and that already we have seen. So let me now compile java ctest.java. And when I say java test, now you can actually see here. So now first 10 got printed, then all the elements, 10 elements are getting printed from my marks array. Later I have my 10 random numbers. These are the random numbers that are generated because they are the double numbers. So you will have double numbers will have almost actually 15 or 16 decimal points. Okay, then you have these three things getting printed, and later your cities array, all the cities are getting printed actually. So this is the example for array initialization, of course array declaration, definition, and array reading and writing array to the console actually. Okay, so as part of the arrays, we understood what is an array and what are other properties as part of the definition, how to declare an array, how to define an array. Defining an array requires new operator, and you have to specify the size. And how to initialize an array, you can give values straight away without new operator. Automatically the array will get allocated in the memory, and it will have a size that you can actually find with the length attribute. And array is an implicit object. In order to read data, you can actually use a number of ways. I am reading the data by generating random numbers. You can actually read data from the user. That means the user means from the keyboard with the help of some classes like scanner, buffer reader, console, etc. We will see that as we progress. And how to print actually, when you are printing, you can use a for loop, and you can do that. And you can also use for each, because for each will works with the groups, and array is a group. Hope you have understood the basic concepts of the array, and I will meet you in the next session where we are actually discussing some more important features and programs on arrays. Thank you.